the ancient village of Aza, surrounded by thick forests and red earth paths, lived a man whose name was spoken with both admiration and envy. His name was Okonta. Okonta was the greatest hunter the village had ever known. At dawn, before the first cockcrow faded into the misty air, he would disappear into the forest with his bow, arrows, and sharp hunting knife. By sunset, he returned carrying antelopes, bush pigs, rabbits, and sometimes even a full-grown deer across his broad shoulders. His compound was large, his barn was full, his goats were many, and his face, handsome enough to make maidens lose their composure. Yet, for all his wealth and beauty, Okonta had one flaw that slowly turned admiration into irritation. He was proud. Many women in Aza had tried to become his wife. Tall ones, fair ones, dark and glowing ones, gentle ones, hard-working ones. Each time elders brought a woman to him, he would look at her carefully, circle her like prey, then shake his head. She is not beautiful enough. Another time, she walks too slowly. Another, her teeth are not white. Then another one, she is too fat. Then another, she is too slim. Doesn't she eat at all? There is something about her eyes I do not like. There was always something. I want a perfect beauty woman to match my status and handsomeness, he would often say. Soon the village began to whisper, is Okonta looking for a goddess? Or does he think he is a god? But Okonta did not care. He believed he deserved perfection. The day the forest answered him. One hot afternoon, while deep in the forest, Okonta chased a wounded antelope farther than he had ever gone before. The trees grew taller, the air grew colder. Even the birds stopped singing. Then he saw her. She stood beside a stream, her back turned to him, washing her hands. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, her waist carved perfectly. Her hair fell like dark silk down her back. Okonta's breath stopped. When she turned, her beauty struck him like lightning. Her face was flawless, her smile calm, her eyes soft and obedient. She bowed slightly. I am lost, she said gently. I have no family, no home. Okonta's heart raced. No family, no questions, no arguments. What is your name? He asked. Amara, she replied. And just like that, Okonta believed the gods had answered him. This is what I call perfection, he muttered. Without hesitation, he brought her home to Aza. The villagers were stunned. They had never seen such beauty before. The women stared in disbelief. The men looked twice. Even the elders nodded in approval. Within days, Okonta married her. He was proud. Finally, he had found perfection. Amara was everything he wanted. She never argued, never complained, never questioned him. When he returned from hunting, water was ready, food was warm, the compound spotless. Okonta felt victorious. You see, he would boast to his friends, I waited for the best. But there was something strange. Amara rarely left the compound. She avoided gatherings. She disliked visitors. And she always insisted on being alone when Okonta went hunting. After marrying Amara, life in Aza seemed perfect. Every morning, before the sun stretched across the sky, Okonta would prepare for hunting. Amara would stand by the doorway, her slim figure wrapped in a soft cloth, eyes gentle. Return safely, she would whisper. And Okonta would smile proudly, unaware of the storm that waited behind him. The moment Okonta disappeared into the forest, the silence inside the compound changed. Amara would stand still. Her breathing would deepen. Her shoulders would begin to tremble. Then slowly, her beautiful skin would ripple like disturbed water. Her waist would thicken. Her arms would swell. Her face would expand. Her body would stretch outward, growing larger and heavier until her true form filled the hut. The air itself seemed to groan under her weight. She would gasp, not in pain, but in relief. "This is who I am," she would murmur, and then the hunger would begin. An endless appetite. She would rush to the clay pots, swallowing pounded yam without soup, drinking palm wine straight from the container, scooping gari with trembling hands. She ate desperately, not like someone enjoying food, but like someone trying to fill a bottomless pit inside her. She would empty one pot, then another, then another. Goat's feed, stored grains, smoked bushmeat meant for the weak. Nothing satisfied her. Her stomach would growl even as she ate. When every single food item in the house was gone, she would sit heavily on the floor, breathing hard, sweat rolling down her face. And then fear would creep in. Okonta would return soon. Quickly, she would close her eyes. Her massive body would shimmer again, shrinking, tightening, returning to the flawless woman he adored. By the time Okonta stepped into the compound, she would be sitting quietly, pretending to grind pepper. That evening, Okonta frowned.
"Where is the bushmeat I dried yesterday?" Amara widened her innocent eyes. "I do not know." He checked the storage pot. Empty. The yam. Gone. The grains. Gone. Amara lowered her head. "I think the villagers are jealous," she said softly. "While you are away, someone must be stealing from us." Okonta's jaw tightened. "Who would dare steal from me?" She touched his arm gently. "You are wealthy. People envy you." Her voice carried just enough sadness to make him protective. Okonta felt anger rise. "Yes, they envy me." That night, he barely slept. The pattern continues. Okonta left for the forest. There goes Amara, eating everything her eyes could behold. She is always hungry. This time she ate the bushmeat Okonta brought to the house without leaving a piece behind. It did not happen once. It happened again. And again. And again. Each time Okonta returned from the forest, something else was gone. Entire sacks of gari vanished. Bowls of soup scraped clean. Even raw ingredients disappeared. Amara always had the same explanation. "I heard footsteps. I saw shadows. They ran before I could see their faces." Her voice trembled convincingly. And Okonta believed her. His pride made it easy to believe. Of course they were jealous. Of course they wanted what was his. Soon, he confronted the villagers in the center of Oza. "Whoever is stealing from my house," he shouted, "will face my wrath." The villagers looked confused. An old man stepped forward. "Okonta, no one enters your compound. We fear you too much." But pride does not listen easily. Okonta walked away, convinced someone was lying. Meanwhile, inside the hut, Amara suffered. Each time she changed into her true form, the hunger felt worse. It was not ordinary hunger. It was the hunger of rejection. The hunger of years of hiding. The hunger of pretending to be small when she was not. As she devoured the food, tears would fall into the empty pots. "I do not want to deceive him," she would whisper between mouthfuls. "But if he sees me like this, he will hate me." After eating everything, she would hold her swollen stomach, rocking back and forth. "I just wanted to be loved." Then she would shrink again. Beautiful. Delicate. Perfect. And guilty. One afternoon, Okonta returned earlier than usual. He had begun to doubt. He told no one. He made no noise. He approached quietly. From outside the hut, he heard something. Heavy breathing. The sound of clay pots breaking. And chewing. Deep, desperate chewing. His heart pounded. Slowly, he pushed the door open. And there she was. Not the slim Amara he married, but the enormous woman, crouched on the floor, oil smeared across her face, surrounded by empty pots and scattered grains. For a moment, they both froze. Palm oil dripped from her fingers. Fear filled her eyes. She tried to shrink instantly, but panic broke her concentration. Her body flickered between forms. Large. Slim. Large again. Okonta staggered backward in horror. You? His voice trembled. Amora's shoulders dropped. There was no more pretending. No more blaming villagers. No more lies. It was never them, she said quietly. The heart felt too small for the truth. I was hungry. Okonta stared at the empty storage pots. You lied to me. Her eyes filled with tears. I lied because you love beauty more than truth. Her words struck him harder than any arrow. Enormously fat. Her skin stretched the more. Her face swollen. Her beauty gone. Before his eyes, the large figure shimmered, and slowly transformed back into Amara, the slender, beautiful woman he had married. Okonta staggered backward. His heart pounded like a drum. Amara saw him. For the first time since their marriage, fear appeared in her eyes. You were not supposed to see that, she whispered. Amara confessed. She was not from any village. She was a forest spirit, a shapeshifter. Her true form was what he had seen. I knew about you, she said softly. Your pride. Your rejection of every woman. You wanted beauty without flaw. So I became your dream. Okonta trembled. Why deceive me? She looked at him with pain. Because I wanted to be loved. Silence filled the hut. For once, she continued, I wanted someone to choose me, not reject me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. In my true form, no man has ever looked at me without disgust. Okonta felt anger, then confusion, then something unexpected. He remembered every woman he had rejected. Every insult. Every proud word. He had judged people by their appearance. Now he felt the same sting. Word spread quickly. In Oza, secrets did not stay hidden. The elders summoned Okonta. You brought a spirit into our village, they demanded. Fear spread among the villagers. Some wanted her banished. Others wanted her destroyed. Okonta stood silent. For the first time in his life, he had no complaint about someone else. Only about himself. He looked at Amara, who stood trembling beside him. In her large form. Unmasked. Unhidden. She did not try to change. She was done pretending. The chief spoke. She deceived us. She must leave. Amara lowered her head. I will go, she whispered. I was foolish to think I could live among humans. She turned to leave. And in that moment, something inside Okonta broke. He saw not a monster. Not ugliness. But loneliness. The same loneliness he had hidden behind pride. He stepped forward. No. The entire village gasped. She deceived me, he said slowly. But I created the reason she had to. He faced the villagers. I rejected every woman here because I worshiped beauty. I mocked what I did not consider perfect. His voice cracked. I was blind. He turned to Amara. You deserve truth. I deserve truth. Tears filled his eyes. If you leave, I will go with you. The villagers murmured. The chief frowned. You would abandon your wealth. Your home. Okonta nodded. What is wealth without love? Amara stared at him. No one has ever chosen me knowing my true self, she whispered. Okonta gently took her large hand into his. For the first time, he said, I am choosing with my heart, not my eyes. Silence swept across Oza. An old woman stepped forward. She was one of those Okonta had once rejected. She smiled softly. Perhaps, she said, the spirit came not to destroy us, but to teach us. The chief sighed deeply. Then slowly nodded. She may stay. A collective breath released across the village. Amara wept openly. Not because she was beautiful. Not because she was accepted. But because she was seen. From that day forward, Okonta changed. He hunted less arrogantly. spoke more gently, listened more carefully. Amara no longer needed to shift her shape. And something miraculous happened. Though her body remained large, the villagers began to see her differently. Kindness replaced fear. Understanding replaced mockery. Years later, when people spoke of Okonta, they no longer said, "He is the most handsome hunter." They said, "He is the man who learned that true beauty is not seen by the eyes, but felt by the heart." And sometimes, in the quiet of the evening, as the sun melted behind the forest trees, Okonta would look at Amara and whisper, "Thank you for breaking my pride." And she would smile, not as a perfect illusion, but as her true self. And for the first time in his life, Okonta saw beauty clearly.